They're trying to freak everybody out, I see. Trying to freak everybody out with this little dip. We're going to try to jam down to 56.4, my entry from Sunday of last week. Entered long here. I think this little moves just try to shake out some longs. On leverage traders, for sure. Leverage traders are getting wrecked right now. If they're in long. I'm looking for an entry. I'm getting in here. I like this spot. It's a pretty stiff dip. I'd really like to see it hold support here. For me, it's more about what my risk is. I'm not risking a lot. Down to 56. The bottom here. I like it. Let me see here. think we're going to get one of these little pops. I've been waiting for it. I didn't think, honestly, I didn't think it would dip this far. But I'm going to go ahead and get in here. This is where I entered last Sunday. I got kind of a defined risk down to this channel, so. I like this range. I mean, can Bitcoin fail from here? It always can fail. But I try to take trades where I give myself a little defined risk. We're doing good now. I got in around 58,000. This is kind of where I wanted to get in at. Right in between, right in the middle between the two spider lines. The downtrend's still in play. It's popped through a couple of times. I really think it's going to continue up. I expected it to be up here last night. I had a small trade sitting on, but it didn't. And then when it come up and was hanging around break even, I just kind of took it off and I said, I think it might dip early, so that's what we got going on. Well, I'm hoping we're not going no lower than this, considering I got in the trade long. I got filled around 58,000. On Bybit, it dipped down to 57.8. Leverage trading on Bybit. There is a lot of selling pressure. I'm not sure why they're trying to hold it down right now. But you know, the more institutional players that get in the game, this is more of an institutional type of thing that's happening right now. If they miss the entry, they try to bring it back. But I like where it is. I always buy when it's going red to go long, so I don't wait for it to start going green and being green for 2 hours before I decide I want to get in the trade. But we have nice support. This is a nice support area right here. You can just look at the chart and you can see it on the 4 hour. So hopefully we get, you know, and then we got another protection. I try to look for spots where I can get protection on my trade. I mean, am I going to lose a little bit? Yeah, when I go into the trade, I'm ready to risk and take a loss, but it's looking pretty good right now. Two-hour chart. Been a straight sell-off for 6 hours now. I mean, could we get this type of movement? I mean, we could. I don't think so. I think there's too much pressure. The volume's still in, money-wise. I mean, it's coming down a little bit now into the red on the 2 hour, but it can still go up in the red. I don't know if it's so much the selling pressure that a bunch of people jumped into Ethereum yesterday, and all the altcoins started running. The play that I took's a little risky getting in here. It's really not set up, but I don't expect it to dip much further. We got a nice little $300 bounce so far. I try not to FOMO in like everybody. Give it a little time, wait for a level to come. Take your shot at it, take the risk. Don't blow your account out. Got a little upwards momentum on the 5-minute chart here. On the Heiken She candles, of course. It's trying to come back in. Bitcoin wants to come up. Could be some profit taking. I don't think so, though. So that's a nice suck up on the 24-minute. That candle was red all the way down here to 57.9. It's almost turning green. Yep, there it goes. Yep, I think this trade's going to turn out well. So my entry into this trade is, now I'm not telling you to follow me in. This is where I decided to get into the trade. Remember, you know, professional traders, myself, other people with big accounts, our risk tolerance is larger than most. So make sure that you're entering the trade at your own risk. Like your risk tolerance, how much you're willing to lose in the trade. Percentage-wise of your account. Don't chase it because it can always dip and you might want to need to take an ad, so you don't want to go all in all the time. This was just to freak people out, to break through this dip. I mean, could it come all the way down here? It could come down to 56.8. I don't think so, though. I think it's going to come up from here in a hurry. We'll see, though. I'll add at this level here, probably 56.6 if it comes in there. I don't think it's going to, but remember, you got to let it breathe. Whatever goes up must come down, and vice versa. I have to find some music to play. YouTube's such a pain in the butt about that, though. Had a nice trade Sunday for a few days. Took a lot of profit. Just want this kind of action here. Just like a movement up like this. It doesn't have to come straight up. That's what I'd like to see. I really don't want it to go down, but of course I use Market Cipher. It could trade in this channel for a while. A lot of people are getting wrecked on the alt side, I heard this morning. A little while ago at lunch, people were texting me. But this is the move I'm looking for. You know, all my friends text me, what's it doing? What's it doing? What's it doing? I'm like, I don't stare at the charts every second of every day. I just came back from breakfast. Saw this nice dip that, you know, I don't want to FOMO into a dip here if I want to take a trade. Let me back this up a little bit. I like to take my trades on the dips. I took a trade here in this range right before this big pop. Took another trade on this dip, and then I take profit coming up, right? You never know how long it's going to go. What goes up comes down. What goes down goes up. Get a nice little bounce here, though. Like that bounce. Little continuation. Heikin-Ashi's gone green now. Need this 24-minute to turn green. It's got to move a little more though. Next stop, my target would be around 61,000, 62,000, somewhere up in this range. I would be taking profit as we come into this top, of course, from down here. You got to spread it out and look a little bit. This is the weekly. So I ended up green. $12 a little bipolar. But this is the movement I'm looking for right here. I mean, I would love it if it went straight up, but, you know, it doesn't generally go straight up. At least not when I get in a trade. It always wants to dip a little bit and then go up. Always try to plan your trades by the risk that you're taking. I'm trading on Bybit. 15x right now. I like this trade. I really don't got much more over it, much more than that. Most of the time 10, between 10 and 15x is where I like to be. See how different that little line looks on the 5-minute chart? That's what we're looking for. Who's trading? Anybody been trading today? Anybody get FOMO'd in up here at the top? I mean, when I FOMO in at the top sometimes. Everybody does it. If they tell you they don't do it, they're lying. Getting a little continuation here. This is the longest time we've had Heikin-Ashi stay green for 5 minutes for a while. This was quite a long dip. I need this to start curling. Only use the 1 minute to get into a trade. I really don't pay attention to the 1 minute. Trades are a lot longer than a minute long, so all this does is freak you out when you're watching it go up and down, up and down, up and down, especially as the regular candles. I mean, you watch this, it'll make you crazy. Right? Up, down, up, down, up, down. What's the way you're going? I like Heikin-Ashi. Just gives me the average. Closes up or down. That's what I like. Keeps me from freaking out. It also keeps me from getting into a trade too fast. So it was a nice extension on this drop. And it came into a level that I'd already set that I wanted to go long at. So, and it started to look good here too. That's a pretty good, big suck up right here. I'd like it to continue. I personally think the big jam downs are to try to take out leverage traders that are leverage trading. They jam it down to try to stop them out. Look, 24-minute candle open green. That's what we want. Need a continuation of this green. Maybe we can get a run back up here. All right, y'all, I'm here. I'm going to set this on the 5-minute. I don't sit at my desk every second, so, but I'm here. I entered right in this candle here. So that's where I am currently. And we are bouncing nicely. I love how they just dip it just past people stop to freak them out. Because people are getting, it'll probably stop right here. So everybody will put their stop, they'll jam past it and take them out. That's why I enter manually. Now, could it come down here to 56.6? It absolutely could come down here. We're getting a nice little bounce here, but you know, I'm looking at my risk. I can add as we're coming down. If I still, and if it really starts to look bad, then I'll just take the little loss and get out. You don't have to marry any trade. You don't like the way it looks? Get out. It's a couple thousand down, so hopefully we stop in here. I do agree. You can't hear the audio? Hold on, I can turn it up. And turn down the other thing. Hold on. I just try to make it so it doesn't blast in people's ears. Some people have headphones on. Is that better? Hello, John Doe. Only enter long at your own risk of what you feel you can risk. I'm entering long because this was a place that I was looking to go long at. But only enter at your own risk. I don't tell people to follow me into a trade because it can easily dump and I don't want people to lose their money on my decision. I'm just telling you what I'm doing. Do I trade well? I do trade well. Do I win every single trade? No, I do not. But overall, I win. You have to have a plan. Like I was telling you, I'm going to take an ad down here in this range if it decided to dip here, and then I'll make my decision whether I'm going to continue on or I'm just going to take the loss and sit back and let it reset. Am I going to chase a trade and get right back in if it stops me out? No, I'm going to take a breather, get away from the computer for a while, and a lot of times I'm going to get up. I may have the stream going, but I'll get up and leave the computer just because you come back and see different things. I don't sit here and stare at it every second of every day. I put the entry here on the chart just because people always ask, where'd you get in? Around 58,000 is where I got in. Why it was going red, I went red for a second. A nice pull up into here. would be roughly where the VWAP is on Bybit right now. What is that? About 59,000. So we need to get into here to get that push. Crypto face. Let me see. What'd you say? YouTube guy. I stream Bitcoin. Oh no, I've left my stream on when I go red. He has too, Crypto face. Listen, Crypto face is smart. Young but smart. I think he takes a little too much risk for the people that follow him. He doesn't explain to them very well. Think we champion 56K. I don't. Remember, I entered long here. You'll be streaming soon? How's your trading going? Depends on how big a position I take. Am I taking $100,000, $1 million positions? No, not all the time. Personally, I mean, I trade stocks and options as well. I average 2 to 5 grand a day there, and then it depends. You know, crypto's dangerous, so you have to be careful with Bitcoin. So I just take profit as it's moving. That's good. I'm not leveraging millions either. I don't trust it. But I'm from the stock world. Thanks. It's an emotional roller coaster trading. Make sure that you don't take a risk bigger than you can take emotionally. If you can go red and trade a couple $1,000, $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, and you don't freak out, you can do it. But if you get in a trade and you start getting antsy and your legs start jumping up and down when you're down $100 or $20, you got to remember, you know, Bitcoin's a big beast. It's going to move. So sometimes it moves the way you want right away, and sometimes it doesn't. Like this time, it's moving right the way I wanted right out of the gate. So we'll see, though. Poker face, yeah. A poker face to yourself in the mirror when they try to get you to close your position. Gotcha. I am definitely not a long-term trader. I like short-term much better. You never know what's going to happen in the world, but that's me. Do I have stuff I'm holding long-term? Yeah, I do. I have, you know, Bitcoin, altcoins, and different things that I'm holding. Target for this bounce? Up in this range, 59. I'll probably start taking some profit and then see how much. It's had a lot of trouble up in this range. So Yeah. I wouldn't agree. That's not what I meant long term. I don't think it's easier long term. I actually think it's harder to trade it long term. I mean, any fool could have bought Bitcoin last year when it was cheap and held onto it for a year and made a fortune, but day trading it every day is a different animal. There's a lot of gurus out there that talk about how much money they're making. What money I make and what I'm risking is all for my own personal emotion, what I can stand. You know, you see guys get on Crypto Face, he does a $10 million trade. Sure, you know, it looks awesome, but he's been doing it for a long time and built himself up to get to that level. If somebody jumps in with 100 grand and they think that they're going to trade like him, they're not, because they're not ready to see their account go green or red $60,000 in 5 minutes. Cool. So we have a nice continuation here. We can keep this up. That's a pretty straight. We probably get a little relaxation. As I say it, it flips red. It's funny, I look at this and it keeps me nice and calm on the hike and a she, but if you look at the regular candles, and I use both, I go back and forth. You know, but you have down, up, down, down. I don't like this. Gets me all emotional. Try to keep your emotions out of it. Emotions will make you lose your money quickly. Thanks. I agree with you. That's why I'm in the trade. Yeah. I have a friend of mine that texted me this morning that got wrecked on EOS this morning. Told him to be careful. You have to keep your emotions out of the game. Absolutely. How did I learn to trade? A lot of trial and error. I advise people not to use a paper trading account because you'll teach yourself bad habits. Always use real money because the emotion's not involved when you're not using real money. Cool. Who are you taking a course with? Hopefully it's not expensive. Well, that's definitely not expensive. To start trading, $1,000 is enough to start trading for sure. That's what I have everybody start out in stocks and options. I have them start with $1,000. I have a live private chat and screen share that I do every day in stocks. Um, I like crypto, so, or I've begun to like it. I didn't like it for a real long time, just because I did stocks for so long. So, but I like it now. Trades pretty cleanly. I mean, the moves are pretty big sometimes. Emotionally, you have to be ready. If you hear my bulldogs snorting and snoring in the background, I apologize. They're a little loud. The measured move breaking down. For me, honestly, I buy some smaller altcoins. I don't really day trade them as I do Bitcoin or stocks and options. Um, that's just personal preference. I have my own private chat on my website. I don't use Discord. I don't use places, Discord, Twitter, that like to ban people for anything that they want to, so I build all my own stuff. Daytradinghacker.com. That's more for stocks. I haven't even really put crypto stuff on there yet. I'll be right back, guys. Hold on. I do not follow the altcoin pumpers on YouTube. That is correct. I see them. I mean, you see them all over the place: YouTube, TikTok, Facebook. There's always somebody that thinks they know what they're doing. Now, as far as crypto goes, um, I use Market Cipher plus technical levels. I'm a technical trader anyway. That's how I trade everything at stocks. Um, so I like technicals. I'm a technical guy. Back to the question, 56.6, yes, I think would be the next bump down if it breaks through here. I hope it doesn't, honestly, but we'll see. I got in the trade expecting a bounce. I mean, I got a bounce. Don't know how far we're going to get here. I would take profit up in this range, around 59,000. Oh, for the service, yeah. The service is, I mean, 140. I give you all my training videos for stocks and options as well for 147. Trezor, only enter long if you're prepared for the risk. I don't know what your risk tolerance is, so it's hard for me to tell anybody to enter long. Only enter long at your risk. I just tell you what I'm doing. I entered here. I also entered in the trade. I've been in this, for the last couple of weeks, but I've entered different areas. Here, hold on. I'll give you an idea of kind of what I look at sometimes. I like dips. I entered here. I entered there. I entered again here. Now I took profit here on these trades and then took profit up here. And then I'll buy and take profit when it comes back up. And it doesn't have to be a lot of profit. It can be 5%, 3%, 10%. It don't really matter. I had a 300% trade a few weeks ago, but that doesn't happen every day. Ah, gotcha. Starting early. I wish I'd started trading early. It's not a lot. I don't try to make home runs every day. If you try to make home runs every day, you're going to lose your account. Small gains, that's how I win. Now, you see, other traders, crypto face from Market Cipher. He takes very big trades, but his percentage of win may be 6%, 10%, and he's taking profit. And he's looking at levels, and he's taking his profit where he should be. Tries to keep emotion out of the game. If you're risking the whole 1,000, yes. I don't risk my whole account on one trade, because you never know if you need to buy more on. If you get a nice dip where you can add to your position. As in, let's say you got in the trade here, and then it comes up, you take some profit, and then it comes down, and let's just say that you're still in the trade, and it dips back into your entry level, you can add back onto your trade, and then make that money again. If you still think it looks good to stay long. Thanks, buddy. Bybit over here. I don't show everybody my positions, unlike some. I'll tell you where I got in, but I don't want people trading against me. What's the exchange with the lowest interest in futures? You know, they've been changing a lot of that stuff around lately. There's a lot of competition, more competition now than there used to be. I use Bybit currently, but I'm not trading futures. Hold on one sec. Let me look something up. Yeah, I haven't been doing it very long. I have a lot of followers. I just didn't live stream. I just started doing it. There's too many idiots out there telling people to risk their whole accounts when they don't really understand what they're doing. I'm talking about the people that are just starting. I'm a very quiet guy. I don't get real excited. I'll get excited when it starts moving. Uh-oh. Possible long on Bitcoin. I'm already long. Do I think Bitcoin can hit me this week? I have English bulldogs that bark and snore and grunt all the time. You just start small. You have to be good with small gains. You just keep winning and keep winning. It's not about how much money you make every trade. It's about how many winning trades you can string together, because eventually it'll add up. Yes. I heard a couple of people got wrecked yesterday in Bitcoin, and that wasn't even this big drop that happened this morning. So we'll see. I'm sure there's a lot of people got hurt. Oh, you can absolutely overtrade. Not with $1,000. You don't have to be in a trade all the time. You have to wait for good entries and then follow your trade plan. Make whatever your trade plan is, make sure you follow it and try to keep your emotion out of it. Litecoin. 7x. I haven't even looked at Litecoin today. Oh, my wife trades too. She's looked at it obviously a while back. That's a lot. She does trade. She's very good. She's the one that stays up at night and wakes me up. Sorry, guys, just reading. ATH. I think it'll come up like the rest of the alts. But you got to be careful with those other altcoins. You can really get hurt. Absolutely. Market Cipher, I mean, honestly, I've been trading a very long time. Market Cipher is worth every penny. It really is. But you have to learn how to use it. I'm going to do some videos on how to use it. There's some other people that try to show people how to use it, but they don't really know. They think they know. Kind of just hanging out. I'd rather it keeps trucking. PayPal let out some news. All of the above, what you just asked. Books, courses, friends. I've paid for a few courses back in the day. Most people don't know what they're talking about. I learned down the road. Learning to trade takes a very long time. There's a lot of information you have to learn. And then after you learn the information, then you got to learn how to control your emotions. Emotions will make you lose your money. More than anything else. Emotions will get you into a trade you shouldn't get into. You're chasing up, it starts pushing. You're like, oh, I'm going to miss it. And you FOMO into the trade. And then you hurt yourself and your emotions are beat up. And then you can't get in the trade when you're supposed to get in the trade because you second guess everything you're looking at. You're like, oh, no, maybe that's not right. So you got to be careful with your emotion. Your emotion's very fragile. People don't realize how fragile your emotions are when you're trading and risking your money. Oh, yeah, I was looking at Litecoin. Where'd you enter? 5 minutes ago, bounced off to 200. Oh, you entered right here. Get rid of this stuff. Hope she didn't need that. She'll yell at me later if she needed it. I like to look at things on the daily too. Just so that's the technical part of me. Just remember, the longer time goes, short-term trend trumps long-term trend, generally. Got a nice little downtrend on Litecoin. Boy, it wants to break out, don't it? PayPal's going to be using Litecoin, they said, I think. Oh, look at that. Broke the little downtrend it was in since the last week. Came up, retested, failed, and now it's broke out. There's a lot of people that have been trading for a long time that have trouble making $100 a day. The 3%ers, 10%ers, 90% of the people that try to day trade lose. People that are teaching you won't tell you that, though. They just want to take your money. The only reason I charge on my website is because I talk to people. I'm available most of the time if they get in a trade or they're in trouble, they want some help. Tell them what they want to hear, whether they want to hear it or not. You can make the money every day, but you have to start small and you start building and winning. The problem is most people, once you start winning, we'll say you go on a winning streak or you win a trade. I have a friend of mine that's real bad about this. If he wins $1,000 in the morning, well, he keeps trading all day long because he thinks to himself he has $1,000 to burn. You don't have $1,000 to burn. That's your money now. Anytime you're green in a trade, it's your money. The test at 200 on Litecoin, by the way, I like the test. I'm not... It looks good. Let me look on the daily. It looks good. Let's take a look here. They were jamming it down right here. Let me see. Money flows in on the hour. It's got a dip though. I always like to put that trend line so I know where that downtrend is, or the uptrend, sending triangles, all that. This is kind of what I use. I try to keep it as simple as possible. That's good. Got to work at it. What books would I recommend for day trading? It's been so long since I've looked at any of that stuff. I would have to research to figure out who I'd recommend that I thought knew what they were talking about. There's a lot of good traders. I'm a good trader. You have to be. Some people take too big a risk. It's all in what your risk is. Honestly. I don't have day trading videos for Bitcoin. I'm working on that series now. So I've just been doing some lives so I can go back and look at what I've talked about. That's what I'm doing now. Helps me with making videos. And then if you're in my service on the website, daytradinghacker.com, get access to all my video stocks options, and then crypto stuff too. I'll do instructional videos, how to set up Bybit, have a VPN. Come back and look to the trade I'm in while I'm over here. I don't freak out when I'm in the trade. When I get in the trade, I'm in it. So till it either gets to my profit where I want to start taking profit, or it gets down to where I'm taking an ad, I don't freak out. I don't have to sit here and stare at which way it's going every second, because this would just make your emotion crazy. Unless you see signs, you know, that you need to be paying attention. But right now it's just breathing. This was your whale tail slap right there. That's the slap. We're getting nice continuation here. Remember, nobody goes broke by taking profit. How many people loaded on long right here? People just loaded on. They thought this was going to be the breakout right there. I was in it here. Took profit and then zeroed out. Nice continuation. That's what we need right here. Just keep coming like this. This is what we want. About to get a green dot on the hour, looks like. It's close. Sometimes I zoom in to look at the money flows, see if it's starting to curl. 2 hour hasn't yet. Four-hour looks ugly. Money's still flowing in, though. I need this 8 hour to do this type of movement. For us to get a breakout, we're going to need this type of movement on this type of movement on the 8 hour will get us up here in this breakout back up to 61. We definitely don't want this move. Starting to get some momentum. No. This is TradingView's app for the computer. This isn't the browser. This is TradingView's browser. If you go to TradingView, you can download this desktop program for your computer. Not quite yet. We're hoping it's going to keep flying, aren't we? Everybody's a winner when you get in and it goes straight up. Trust me, it does not happen like this every single time I get in a trade, but it's nice when it does. So we're going to run straight to VWAP. It's got to get over this range, though. It's going to have to get over this. We've broken over spider line now, looks like. Yep. It's a good sign. Whoops. It does. I haven't seen very many people use the TradingView app, but I went and looked for it on their website and found it. It's a beta version, I think. But I compared it next to the browser version, and it's exactly the same. We're pushing good now. Starting to see a curl on the money. Yeah, that's what we like to see right there. I don't know how long this is going to continue, but I like what's happening so far. It's going to try to print a green dot on the 45-minute. Doesn't mean it's going to continue, but we'll see. It was a good area to get in, to try a trade. I trade areas, levels. I look for a good area. There's no perfect entry. Doggone it. I always do that. Oh, no kidding. Trend change. Looking good right now. I gotta go get a drink, let my pooches out. My bulldogs are bugging me. I'll be back in a few minutes. Interesting. Harmony? Oh, I was muted. Got a nice breakthrough right there. That was good. A lot of the altcoins are going to follow the same pattern as Bitcoin. Remember, Bitcoin's the big dog. It is the king of the coin world currently. I would assume it's going to stay that way, but you never know. Could have just kept the continuation right straight up and have been just fine with me. We didn't have to breathe down a little dip. I think Bitcoin's going to break out of this. It broke the 60,000 wall, but I think it's going to continue up personally. But you never know. You can just trade it and have your targets and your risk levels, and that's the end of it. Am I going to get in a trade and think that I'm going to take 15x or 10x and think I'm going to have a target of 75,000 or 100,000? No, not at all. I'm going to take profits along the way. On this trade, I'll take a bunch of profit in this area. And then if it dips down again, I'll buy some more if I still like the way it looks. I didn't buy it this morning because I didn't like the way, I just didn't like the movement. It was very slow all night. Obviously, except for this little pop. Almost time for a green dot. Well, I about bottom ticked this trade. Got lucky so far. I'll be back in a few minutes, guys. I'm going to let the dogs out. I didn't go. I was sitting here watching this push.